This is. Oh, hi. Welcome. Hi, guys. Welcome to my channel. I am just so excited today. My baby is turning 1 year old. And what better way than to tell you guys how it went down, my labor and delivery story. Are you ready? If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I hope you stick around. And welcome to this space where we talk about all things marriage, motherhood, yeah, the lifestyle, and we have fun doing it. Yeah, and if you're a returning viewer or a subscriber, hi fam, hi family, hugs and kisses. Okay, let's get into the video. So I'm gonna be sharing this video. I'm gonna be sharing a story surrounding my the birth of my son, who is soon to be one in a week as I shoot this video. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited. It's been quite a journey, and I love seeing how much he changes and grows, and all these growing up personality, all these milestones. He's grown teeth. If you follow me on Instagram, I've already shared how that was a big worry. Among other things, as a mother, you tend to worry because there's a tendency of expecting babies to be this, to be that at a certain age or a certain stage in life, and if they're not, you kind of get worried. But we remain grateful and thankful that he's healthy and he is doing very well. Now, here is the story on how it went down. I was watching a ton of videos like this when I was preparing to meet my little boy. And if you're also on that journey and you're watching this, I totally feel you. The anxiety, what to expect. I watched a bunch of videos on like a natural birth. Ooh, Lord knows how many I watched. Those went through C-section. I don't know if you'd call mine elective or medical. You'll be the judge of that. But yeah, it was elective. I mean, that's how I signed for those papers, because, well, let me not get ahead of myself. Let me start from I find out I'm pregnant, and when they tell you your due date, that's when you begin planning. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe by this time I'll be having my baby. The excitement is on another level. But these due dates tend to change. So the first one, they told me it would be, is it 17th of April? And I was like, oh, okay, wow, that is really, really exciting. So I put it in my calendar. I don't know who else that does that. Like, who did that? If you did that the first time you found out your due date and you put in your calendar, like, can't wait to meet my boy. Like, okay, my calendar was like meeting my baby. Like that. That's how. But the truth is, usually, even if they give you a due date, is not a guarantee that that is when you give birth. So a few appointments I had. I changed a doctor who also told me a different due date. This time it was is it 29th of April. So I was like, no, confused, like, okay, what's happening? But during the whole pregnancy, I got a little bit of complications. There's kakunda kubira nga amazi yashizemo, harya ayo mazi bayita gute? Amniotic fluids, where the fluids where the baby swims and everything. I had to go and I had to take medication for me to be able to sustain that, so that my baby can like grow full term. And yeah, so I am so happy to say that my baby was born full term. Hallelujah. I was so scared when they say that there's a chance I could give birth early, because the fluids I was getting low on that, among other things. But yeah, so here comes close to my due date. And now in my mind, I'm like, you know what, maybe it's 29th. And yeah, so a few weeks to that, I do like checkups, and how they tell you that for you to have like a natural or vaginal birth, your baby has to be facing down. Unfortunately, my baby was still was in bridge position, whereby yitambitse. Bridge position, yes, yari yitambitse. And the doctor was like, he recommended some exercises for me to do, some walks, and I was like, okay. I got a little bit scared, but you know what? I was like, okay, maybe there was hope that the people whose babies turned at last minute. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm hoping. So I always wanted, to do that, than the vaginal birth. We go back in on the dates he had told us to go in for a checkup, and then it was still the same. So he's like, you know what, one, you're getting low on your, let me get the word for that, let me google that, those fluids. Yeah, so it's the amniotic fluid. Like, and the doctor was like, "You're getting low on that. So let me give you 1 more week. If you come back and there is no change, we will have to go in for the C-section." So now the dates he gave me was a Wednesday. It was 21st of April, 2021, and he's like, "You know what? Come prepared. If nothing has changed in this week, you will have to we have to perform the C-section." We were so nervous, me and my husband, and we made calls. I mean, my husband has friends who are doctors and everything, and relatives, sisters, cousins, and then he was making calls, and he's like, "You know what, this is what is happening. There's a possibility that my wife might go under C-section." We both really didn't want this as an option, but hey, nobody. I feel like nobody ever wants that. I don't know. Do people really choose going under the knife willingly without any medical conditions or complications? I don't know, but personally, I don't think it's something I would have, like, just chosen to. Yeah, so well, after we've calmed ourselves, I mean, I mentally had to prepare myself for the C-section. I called my sister who went through one, and I was asking questions. Well, how does it do? What are the steps? Like, I mean, I feel like the hardest thing is when you don't know what to expect. I asked her, well, how does this happen? I mean, even my maid of honor went through the same thing. So, I mean, I was like asking questions. I was like doing research, like, how does this happen? How is the recovery journey? Like, oh my God, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But yeah, so comes the day, we go to the doctor. And actually, it's very funny. We packed our bags, and we put them in the car. We're like, you know what? In case we have to stay, we just, like, come with the bags. If we don't have to stay, we can always come back home. No big deal. So we pack our bags, and when we go to the hospital, the doctor was really busy. He did like an emergency C-section, and when he looked at me, he's like, "Okay, let me check you real quick." Not even 2 seconds later, he's like, when they pour that slippery stuff on your stomach for an ultrasound. And when he checked me, he was like, "Nope, mutukura chadi hano mujifu." He was like, upside. The feet were down, the head was near my stomach, and he's like, "You know what? You're not going home. Book a room." We start the process of being admitted, getting a room, doing room tours. The funny thing is, I had planned to do a room tour that day. Like, when I got there, I always forgot, to do like touring the hospital, seeing where the rooms are and everything. But something you should do, Mama, if you're almost due date, you have to go to the hospital where you give birth, do a little bit of tour, see where the bathrooms are, where the rooms are, which I didn't do, but I already thought I would do it. Every time after checkups, I'm like, "Kwaji," so I forget. But the thing is, that day, I thought of, like, you know what, now if they don't, like, admit us, I'll do the room tour. But we didn't go back home. Well, I didn't go back home until I had my little one. Okay, I'm getting to the fun part. We start the whole process. We tour some rooms. We get a room. The whole thing of getting admitted. Here comes my positive birth story, rather delivery story. I call it positive because I don't have any trauma surrounding my birth story. When I was watching all these videos, I mean, there is a lot of trauma. People are like traumatized. They went through a lot. Childbirth is a lot. But on the other hand, I'm like, yes, I know I went through a C-section. The recovery was hard, but it was a positive delivery experience for me. I mean, a few can say that, but for me, because when they say that mahwa, my Rwandan people, that, like, you can. It's more about telling you that you can go back and give more birth to more kids. Alright, say yeah, like we are gonna do that, like, because I didn't have any trauma around it except for the recovery part. That's a story for another time, or that video for another time, where we shall be talking about recovery essentials and everything. But right now, it's the delivery part, which is a very positive experience for me, because Come morning, where because you have to spend there the night, they do like checkups on you, and then the nurse come in, and then you don't have to eat past midnight. Is it? Yeah, past midnight. So things like that. They keep a close, look on you. So come morning, it was me and my husband. My mom had to come the next day, like that morning, because when we admitted, I had to call her. You know what? Tomorrow is the day you're gonna meet your grandson. She comes in, and of course, in the morning, we wake up. My husband wakes me up, and he's like, he takes a shower first, and then after that I go in. But it was like just a regular day, like we shower, and then I wear my hospital gown. I'm like, whatever, I'm like putting, like, smearing myself, rather not even smearing, because I don't think I advised to do that. I was putting some gikotori, like, the Vaseline, on my body, or on my face, on my body. And then the nurse comes and like, it's time. I need we need to take you and begin prepping you for surgery. And I'm like, oh, it's happening. So my husband was like tidying up, like picking up the towels and the clothes, and I'm like, you know what, come find me, because I was so nervous going alone. I was so scared because I didn't know what to expect. Yes, I've been told stories, but of course, as I always say, everybody's experience is different. So I get in the nurse section. I'm being prepared for surgery. So I insist that I want my husband with me, but he also was willing to come with some. Don't have the guts to watch that. But I was like, I will only feel safe when my husband is with me. Thank God the doctor is really, really nice, and is like, okay, we shall let you know when you're ready. Like scrubbing. They give him the gun and everything. So I'm like, oh my God, come find me. Like, okay. So the nurses were really, really nice. We get into the delivery, the theater. Is that what they call it? Where, they prep me. I get that anesthesia injection. I get the injection, and then it starts to feel real, because now the nurse is like, do you feel anything? They put music, we actually vibrate to some music, you need to be calm and everything. So because they told me that injection is really, really painful, in my head I was really like prepared for like the pain, but it wasn't that bad in my opinion, or whatever. I think because I overrated it. I was like, you know what, it's going to be really painful, hence other people's experience. So when I'm there, my mind already, I'm tuned into, like, it's going to be really, really painful, but it wasn't. That's why I always say it's actually a positive delivery story for me, because I didn't feel any pain. I was under, when they paralyze you from the stomach down, whereby up you're awake and you can hear people talk and everything. So they lay me down. I feel like people are poking me, are touching me all over. A few seconds later, my husband comes. As soon as he walks in, I hear my baby crying. Yay! I'm like, is that him? Is that him? Like, not even 5 minutes later, I could hear my baby crying. I'm like, wait, is that? So he's like, oh my God, my husband's like, Kongs, you're now a mother. I'm like, I know. And I'm like, who does he look like? Wow, fun. Because we always made fun of this. Me and my husband, like, oh, Savasana is using me. Because those who know my husband, he likes to joke, because it's like he's very dark and I'm light. He always likes to joke that he's the Coke and I'm the orange Fanta. So there in the between, like, Sanand is like, he looks like you. He doesn't. So now here comes the sad, a little bit sad part of it. He was underweight. Yeah. Because the pregnancy was quite rough. Even my bump was really small. Even at 8, almost 9 months, you could never tell. I'm almost giving birth. You could think maybe it was 6 months, maybe, or even 5. But yeah, I assume my baby's under. And then the doctor said that like, I know it didn't come from a bad place, but that stuck to me. Like, it kind of like knocked me a little bit. But you know what? That moment I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna, enjoy the moment. Well, I don't even know how to enjoy the moment, because now you're wondering, well, okay, the thing I have been waiting for the entire year is actually it's finally here. And I don't know how to react. I don't know how to behave. I don't know how to feel. They say you bond immediately, but I don't remember that feeling. I was just like, wait, I'm a mother. that is a child, that is a human being that I'm actually gonna have to take care of. Oh my God, it hit me. I'm like, oh wow, I'm going home with a baby. But yeah, circling back to the underweight thing, it kind of hit me, and I'm like, okay, I know I didn't really eat well. Even the things I tried to eat, I didn't really keep anything down. The pregnancy was not that smooth compared to the expectations or what I saw with people in around me, my friends and family, the ones that I've had a chance to witness their journey. It was really really tough, and you know what, I felt like it was my fault that my baby was underweight. And actually, the good thing is that he was super healthy. Hallelujah. That was I was like, you know what? He is healthy. The weight he'll gain. That's why I think I strongly embarked on the journey of breastfeeding. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna breastfeed the hell out of this child. Because I always felt like I wasn't able to give you or to give you the nutrients you needed when you're in my stomach. At least now, even I prayed about it, it's like, God, I know I'm not able to do what I'm supposed to do as a mother, as well during the pregnancy part, because I was sickly. I would not keep anything down. So because I knew there was really nothing kept down, the kid couldn't get the nutrients he needed. But I was like, you know what, I will breastfeed my baby. And I always prayed that God give me, the breast milk, which he did. And if you've been around this channel, yeah, you already know this. Hi fam. Yeah, so moving right along, we check into the recovery room, after which I was taken to my room. And yeah, so guys, I am here with my baby, and even the doctor or the pediatrician would come, the one who came in to check in was like, wait, was this baby premature? So when you hear people asking you, or rather even the doctors asking you whether your baby was premature, and you know you carried your baby full term, it breaks your heart. You feel like you failed during your pregnancy and that you didn't give your baby nutrients that he needed. You begin to blame yourself. It was really a hard time for me in that. Nobody knew what I was going through. Nobody felt what I was feeling as a mom. But to me, I was like, oh my God, I did this to my child. I did this to my child. I didn't feed him well. I didn't feed him enough. I didn't eat enough. I didn't exercise. Mimi, I did not. I did this. So it took a toll on me. I think that made me be so hard on myself. And I like, you know what? Even I think up to now, even if sometimes as a mom you get overwhelmed and you're like, you know what? I'm like, I have to be intentional. I wasn't able to do this. I'm in control. It gave me that sense of like being in control so much, because during pregnancy I was not in control. So now I feel like this is a time for me to be in control. And when I feel like there's something I can do about it, I'm gonna do something about it. So hence the whole, I'm gonna breastfeed you, nothing of that, all that thing. Not really, I wouldn't say the reason, but it's the push that I had to go through this, because it's not easy. Yeah, so but the only thing that kept me going was like, he's healthy, he's kind of as he'll grow and all that. So yeah, so there comes my baby. The recovery process is another video that I am thinking of doing, and all the essentials that you need. So that was my delivery story. And I wouldn't say labor and delivery, because I do not know what labor is like. I don't know if we call them ibise, nabisense. I never went through that. That's why I say it's kind of positive, because those who have gone through the labor part and then have to go through the C-section, like, after the complications. Wow. I mean, I respect. But yeah, so that is my story. I would say, would I call this positive? And then, just a mixed feelings. But that's my story, my delivery story. So my baby, when we got home, 1 month in, baby had already gained weight. I was like, thank you, Jesus. 2 months, 3 months. Oh my God. Oh wow, I can't wait for the day I share pictures of my baby on my Instagram. If you don't follow me, please do follow me. For those I was able to know how interact with, they're like, why don't you show us your baby? Da, da, da. But I think the other day my sister told me that a friend of hers saw a picture of my baby in her phone. I was like, wait, is that your sister's baby? And she's like, yeah. Like, no, he's got kibazo because she doesn't show him. Well, that is like a whole that made me laugh so hard. I was like, okay, so if you choose not to show your baby on social media, they think he has a problem or he has a default. But no, it was a choice me and my husband made to not, like put him out there when he's still a little kid. And I always told him, like, at least on his first birthday, I need to post him. I need to share him with the world. Like, he's such a joy that I feel like I need to share with you guys. You're my family or my online family. And yeah, one day, if he lets me, I'm going to convince him from now on. This 1 week that is left, I want to convince him to let me share this joy, this little boy that God blessed me with the world. Yeah, so thank you so much for listening to my story. I hope you enjoy story time. Oh, let me first take a sip. And to my son, in the future, when you watch this, Mama loves you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.